Okay, hello everyone. So I'm coming to you from Snowdonia in North Wales. Now technically we're not in Snowdonia itself. Snowdonia is, for those of you who aren't from the United Kingdom, is a region in North Wales, which is a country attached to England, where there's a load of mountains and really pretty stuff in the mountain Snowdon, which is one of the larger mountains outside of Scotland, because if you count Scotland in the Highlands it doesn't even breach the top 10, but if you don't count Scotland it's one of our biggest to offer, Snowdonia. And yeah, so I've actually previously, as if you see the posts on my community tab, I've been in the Lake District, which was an absolutely magical time. I've always wanted to go to the Lake District, and we were only there for about 3 days really, but we did a lot of things in the daytime. We were up early and we were out doing things, so I got to see the whole of Windermere and the lake. It's the biggest lake in the United Kingdom, and it's not like a really long lake like the lakes you get in America in their equivalent of the Lake District. Really sorry. Woo, that's fun. Anyways, I don't know how ASMR this video is really going to be, because I tried to film a Get Ready With Me in the Lake District, but the thing is we went in this sort of, it was called a lodge, but it was one of those like holiday park caravans, and the thing is there weren't many spots for me to get ready even normally, but then trying to film it and have it be quiet enough for it to be ASMR quality was literally impossible, because the bathroom where I was getting ready had a fan, which if you turned the light on it also automatically turned the fan on, and you could hear everybody going around doing things, because obviously I get ready in the mornings on those days and everybody's also getting ready to go out and hit the road and do things, and I can't ask everyone to be quiet while I'm doing that, so it was a bit difficult. So I decided, you know what, I'll film something when we get to Snowdonia, because we're in a proper Airbnb, so we're in a little bungalow house thing, which is really nice. You will see everything we've done in the Lake District. When I get back, I'm gonna compile a video of both our trips to the Lake District and Snowdonia and everything we've done, because there is so many, like, it's just the natural beauty of both these places. I've only been in Snowdonia for just a few hours today really, but even on the drive in I managed to record a few bits for that video. I'm gonna get into CapCut, and like I've done with the Aberystwyth video and the Hay Festival video, I'm going to compile them and voice over it and explain everything we did. So you will get to see, and the audio quality on those CapCut voiceovers are amazing. So I'm hoping that it'll be a fun little video, but I thought I'd just pop in and say hi and let everybody know what's going on. So I thought I'd do sort of like a little shopping haul of what I got in the Lake District. So we'll start. I've got a crinkly bag here, so not everything in this bag was bought in Windermere. This book, which is called Welcome to the, I'm not even going to try and pronounce that, but there was a book in Ambleside which is on Lake Windermere, but it's just aside from, because what you have is you have Ambleside at the very top of Windermere, and then you've got Bowness in the middle, and then you've got Lakeside at the bottom of Windermere. There isn't actually a town called Windermere, which is what I thought. Now, what people would probably call Windermere would be Bowness, which is what I learned while I was out there. We got this when we went all the way up to Ambleside, and there was a little bookshop, and it was like a local independent one, and I love me a local independent bookshop. Like, we need to support our local bookshops, so I figured I would lend my money to them, and I got this cute little book. It says on the back, Young G did everything she was supposed to do: go to university, marry a decent man, get a respectable job. Then it all fell apart. Burnt out, Young G abandons her old life, quits her high-flying career and follows her dreams. She opens a bookshop. And so it sort of follows this woman learning how to be, I don't know if you can hear my parents mulling about, but it's evening and everyone's getting ready for bed, and my room's right by the kitchen, so it's all good. So I picked this one up, and they even gave me a little bookshop. It's called Fred's Bookshop, if anybody's ever around the Lake District area or in Ambleside, you can give them a visit. They have loads of stuff, including more like Lake District and England specific things, because there is a lot of international tourists out there, which I expected. It's peak tourist season. There was people from, a lot of people seemingly from like South Asia, not South Asia, East Asia, so like China, Japan, Korea sort of place. There was a lot. England does see it's a lot of tourists from that area of the world, and there was what I believed were a few, it's hard to tell the difference between the American and Canadian accent, but there was definitely a few of both. Canadians usually tend to be a little bit, I don't want to say like lower on the volume side, but their accent has less of a like tinge to it. The American accent, depending on what area of the country they're from, we were in a restaurant, sat behind a table, and there was definitely somebody from Los Angeles, because you can hear that valley. And the thing is, when you like spend a lot of time on the internet watching influencers, you pick up on that accent. So that woman, nobody was disrespectful or anything, because you hear all these stories about all noisy Americans or whatever, but usually when most people come to the countryside places like this, they pick up on the vibe that it's better to just keep your voice down, which is one thing I will say. If you're coming from anywhere outside of Europe into a European country, when you're talking, just keep your voice down. It doesn't annoy me personally, but especially in other areas of Europe, because England and the United Kingdom, not so much. We are quite loud naturally as people. I find especially sort of our young lads, as we like to call them, they will be quite loud when they want to be, so I wouldn't bother with it out here. But if you're out in like Germany, France especially, Spain, Romania, any of those places, Italy especially, just, and anywhere in Scandinavia, they like it quiet. They keep themselves to themselves, especially in Scandinavia. That's my one piece of advice, is just pick up on the vibe. If it's like party central, if you're going to like a big place, then it's fine. But if you're in a smaller area, which I mean, most people were very respectful of that. We had no bad experiences. Like, I expected it to be busy this time of year, because the Lake District is very popular, and I understand why, because it's stunning. Like, you don't expect it to be quiet, you'd be stupid. But anyway, so I picked this up, and it was actually quite reasonably priced, because obviously it's quite an expensive area, because it's a lot of like, the people that live here are all quite posh, and then it's also quite touristy, so places do put their prices up to try and boost things. But this was only about a tenner, which wasn't too bad. So looking forward to reading this, because on this trip I'm reading the Wicked King, which is the second book in the Folk of Air series by Holly Black, so I will have to update you guys on that once I've finished it, but I'll probably read this book next. So that was from Ambleside, and the rest of this stuff is from Windermere, or Bowness as I should say. What I'm referring to as Windermere is actually Bowness Bay. Bowness Bay is in the middle of the lake, as I said. So now on our first night in, we popped, no, not first night, on our first day, we popped into the town. We had a mooch around some shops, and we got like some beers, some like drinks at this little place. And I went into the shop and I smelled this perfume, and it's called Poetry. Now at first I wasn't too keen on it, because it's a bit, I don't know how to explain the scent of it really. It's quite a almost like woody sort of scent. I put it on my wrist and I smelt it, because like I write poetry myself, and I thought, oh my god, perfume called Poetry. And obviously there's quite a lot of poets from the Lake District. You look around and you think, yeah, that makes sense, especially like William Wordsworth is from there, quite a famous poet, and there's a quote from him on the back of the perfume which says, "Poetry is a spontaneous overflow of powerful feelings. It takes its origin from emotion recollected in tranquility." That's true. And this perfume is created in Kendal, which is we passed through Kendal on our way out of the Lake District into Snowdonia, and there isn't too much in Kendal. We didn't really stop in Kendal, but this stuff is like made in Kendal, so it's local to the Lake District, and they were selling it in this little touristy shop. only £23, which for perfumes, for the Sabrina Carpenter stuff, it costs about 30 quid for 50ml, for 75ml. This is £23 for 50ml, and this is what the bottle looks like. And it's so pretty, and the smell of it lasts for ages, because the reason I got it was because the more I had it on my hand, and I could smell it on my hand, and I was thinking, at first it didn't smell too good, but the more I smell it and it sticks around, the more it grows on me. And I realised that it's just one of those ones that it's quite strong when you first smell it, because it's quite musky. But once you let it settle, it's really nice. That made a horrible squeaking sound. It's by a company called Lakeland Fragrances. It's an eau de parfum, if you will. Beautiful bottle. And it's also just, it's nice to support like little, because that's the thing about places like these, is that because they're so touristy, they're able to really big up their local businesses, which is great, because the tourists, they come in, myself included, I count myself as a tourist, they come in and they want the local stuff. People want to see that, that's what they come here for. So it's a brilliant place for locals to, you know, even today on our last day we went back into Bowness and they had this little like local market thing going on, which I think was more for the locals, but we just stumbled upon it, and it had all these little market stalls with all sorts of stuff like going on, and we had a wander around there actually, so that was quite good. So it is quite a nice place to set up like a little business or something. I have who I'm naming Frank. This is I bought this in TK Maxx literally the day before we went. He was only about like £2.99. I'm mostly using it as a pillow in the car, but I've named him Frank Ocean just for fun. So that's Frank. So while I was also in this shop, I picked up this adorable little notebook. It's got little foxes on it and it's just the sweetest. And this was about £6, which again, this shop didn't, for like souvenirs, because it was a gift shop sort of thing, for souvenirs, which usually in most places cost like an arm and a leg, it was not that expensive. It was alright. So I thought I'd pick up a notebook. I love me a good notebook, and also like this one has what I'm calling really nice poetry lines. So I figured maybe I'll write something in here. I keep smelling my hand because it's so nice. Like it's a unisex fragrance. Unisex? Yeah, unisex fragrance. It's gender neutral, which I've been meaning to look into gender neutral perfumes because you get some really nice ones actually. But anyways, it's got like a little mum and the baby and some flowers, which I thought was really cute. And it's got these like yellow edges. So I love me a good notebook. And obviously Beatrix Potter, the writer behind Peter Rabbit, was from the Lake District. We didn't go to anything revolving that. We went in a shop, but we didn't buy anything. They have the like museum, and they have quite a lot of Beatrix Potter related stuff. Most people probably know that is Peter Rabbit, the like children's book. So there was a lot of stuff revolving her, which was quite nice to see. It's quite cute. So the next and final thing I bought is these. I am absolutely obsessed with. I bought these, like I didn't expect to get these, but I did. We wandered, it was actually my dad who pointed it out. We wandered into this little boutique called, hang on, let me have a look. It's called J. Brown's or something along those lines. I'll have a look in a minute. We wandered into this little boutique called J. Brown's, or I think it might have been Barlow's maybe, but they had a like big sale on and everything was quite decently reduced. My mum got a jumper with a like elephant on that was originally about 50 quid for 22, which is over half off. So but I went upstairs and I was actually looking for a hoodie because the only warm thing I've got is this like Kansas Chiefs jumper, which is like, we're going up the summit of Snowdonia on this train in a couple days, and the summit of Snowdonia is going to be really cold, so I don't actually have a hoodie. So I was on the lookout for one of those. So I went upstairs and they had all their men's stuff, and I didn't find a hoodie, but I did find some shoes. And the second I saw these, my jaw was just on the floor, and they were the last pair. And I went downstairs to my mum, who was checking out. I was like, I found some shoes and I want your opinion on them. So the woman at the checkout was lovely. She paused and she's like, oh, do you want me to keep this jumper here and you can go and have a look at the shoes? And I was like, yeah, okay. And she had a look at them and she's like, oh, do you want them? And I was like, yeah. And there was a box underneath the shoes. They were on display, and she was like, oh, those say 5s, because I'm a size 5. And there was nothing in the box. So we're like, do we just bring the box downstairs? So we brought the box downstairs, and the woman goes, oh, sometimes people just take the display shoes, so I'll go upstairs and I'll look at the display ones. But then I was like, are the display ones my size? Because they're the only ones I see. Luckily they were, and they didn't have anything else in stock. So these bad boys, you can't see them too well in this light, but they've got this nice suede material. They were originally, their original retail price was £55, and I got them for £35. And they have this beautiful lace tie-up. And typically I am not a fan of this shaped heel, but I put them on earlier and they're so comfortable. And I've always wanted like a pair of, they're not quite Mary Janes, but they're almost Mary Janes. I've always wanted some shoes sort of like these. They're quite ornate and pretty. Like, I've always wanted a pair like these, and I just think they're absolutely stunning. And because they are made by, let's see who they're made by. Jo Browns. I thought so, it's Jo Browns. Because they're made by, their make is this small little local place, I didn't mind paying, you know, £35, especially considering their original retail price is £55. Because these are gonna last. The only annoying thing is I'm so obsessed with them, but I have nothing to wear them with. The only, like, we're probably gonna go out for like a nice meal and dress up a little bit, and we're out here for my mum's birthday, so we'll probably get a bit fancier for that on the one night. But the only thing I have is this brown dress, and obviously it's not gonna go with these blue shoes, so I might have to wear shorts just so I can wear my fancy shoes. But also, all of the local restaurants are like a little bit of a walk. It's not far, but it is down a little lane and it's gonna be quite dirty, so I think I might just wait until I get home, and maybe if I go on a night out, because, like, also big thing, I'm 18. I think this is the first video, no, this is the second video I'm filming. I'm 18, I can drink alcohol, I can go on nights out in my country now, so ain't that fun? So it's been so weird because I've been able to, like, on the boat today, we took a boat trip all the way across Windermere, because on the first day here we booked a self-drive boat, but we only had it for an hour, so we didn't go too far across Windermere. But obviously the fun thing was getting to drive our own boat. And then we went on a much bigger boat today, which we actually got on for free, because it's quite funny, my dad works on the railway, and he works for just the general British company, and sometimes they lend their old parts to these tourist attractions. There's like old heritage railways that run tourist attractions in places like the Lake District, Snowdonia, anywhere sort of touristy in the UK might have a steam train sort of thing, a heritage train. And what our general rail company will do is, if they have old parts, this is what my dad said today, they'll sometimes lend old parts or engineers or that sort of stuff, or they'll sometimes work with these heritage companies. So my dad brings his like work ID to these people, and the woman at the front desk goes, oh, you know, you can get on the boat for free with that. If you take that ID card to the people at the boat, they will let you on for free. And this is a boat ride on a big like steamboat, proper big like cruiser, all the way across from Lakeside to Ambleside and then back again for free. And usually those things can end up costing £20 to sort of £40 a person, because it's quite a way across Windermere. It's a very long lake, so we got on there for free. And I'm on a tangent and I can't remember. Oh yeah, and we got on this boat and it had a bar, and usually I'm only able to have soft drinks because I was the only under 18 in my family. But now that I'm 18, I was able to get like I think it was cider I had. So I'm not getting too crazy, obviously, it's just like an odd pint here and there, but it's so nice to like not be the child ordering lemonade when everyone else is getting drinks. Because obviously it's the United Kingdom, I'm allowed to drink at home from about 16, which is usually what most families in this country do, I know. Anyone watching from America or Canada might be a little bit shocked by that. Not necessarily, obviously you hear of the Irish, the British, the Australian, you know, the Europeans, we drink a little bit more than other places do, but I think because it's normalised. And the thing is, I find it safer than the American drinking age, because like the American drinking age, you throw those kids out to college and they're 21 and they've never touched alcohol before, and they don't understand limits, they don't understand to eat. If you're going to drink heavily, you need to eat before you drink. You need to only really drink one type of alcohol, don't mix them too much. Like, they don't understand these things, and so they go out and they get absolutely hammered without realising what they've done. It's a little bit safer to be allowed to start from home and under adult supervision with people that know what they're doing. So when I go out to university, I'll understand my limits and I'll understand sort of the de facto rules around drinking. So I find it's actually a bit safer when you have college or university age kids, that they've been allowed to experience these things in a controlled environment than just throwing them out there and saying, oh well, you're a grown adult now. But that's my tangent anyway, that's my side tangent. So there are these shoes and I'm obsessed with them, and I'm going to have to find, I might just wear them to when I go and get my A-level results just for fun. So they make some really nice ASMR sounds as well. But anyways, I've got an early start tomorrow because we're going to do a bit of exploring around where we're at in Snowdonia, because we're on the beach as well, so there's going to be some fun footage in that video. I will probably upload it in the morning, this video, because upload times in the evening are crazy, so I'll probably upload it in the morning just so it can be a quick one. But I will see you guys in next week's video, which will be the summary of this trip, and I hope you guys enjoyed this little video. So I will see you guys next week. Bye!